Good morning, bachcho. So, in the last class, we were done with the FEMA. Let us start with the next chapter, interpretation of statutes. Interpretation of statutes, deeds, and documents. Yeah. If you see, the chapter weightage will be around 8 marks. How many marks are? You can expect 6 to 10 marks from this chapter. Around its weightage will be 8 marks. IOS, interpretation of statutes. But once upon a time, when once upon a time, this was part of the CA final and shifted to CA enter from 2017. From 2000, so I'm keeping one photo here. This guy, Ram Jetmalani. एक कौन है बेटा? Superhero in the Supreme Court, High Courts, etc. One of the famous lawyer in India. This is recently 2 years back around. This guy, but law will remain same for everyone or not? In every gully, 2-3 lawyers will be there. Law will remain same for everyone. Law will not change from lawyer to lawyer. But this guy used to charge. You don't believe also, beta. How much he used to charge? You can Google it also. For hearing. Hearing means one appearance for one day. What how much he used to charge? Andada. So she said 1 lakh, 10,000 per hearing, and one day, not for whole case. This guy used to charge 25 lakhs to 1 crore rupees per hearing. He was the lawyer of that Harshad Mehta, for example. Famous, all the famous cases handled by this superhero Ram Jetmalani. Why he will charge 25 lakhs rupees to 1 crore rupees per appearance, not for the whole case, for one day? Because he don't read the law, he understand the law. When he steps into the court, he was deceased nearly at the age of 95-96. That guy. He has 2-3 sons. All are into same department. Right now is not there. 2-3 years back. I think 23, I think he is deceased after COVID. When this guy enters into the court, when he steps into the courtroom, judges used to ask, what are you going to teach us today? What you are going to teach us today? This superhero, he interpret the law. He interpret the law. Interpretation means understanding the logic. Understanding the logic behind the word, behind the statement, behind the provision. Judges used to tell when he enters in the courtroom, Sarji, what you are going to teach us today? Ram Jetmalani. Done na beta? First of all, interpretation of statutes. Interpretation of statutes. A statute क्या होता है बेटा? What is the meaning of the statute? Statute means law. Statute means law. Statute has been defined as the written will of the legislature. Written will of the. What is the meaning of legislature, beta? A body authorized to make the law. A body authorized to make the law. A body authorized to amend the law. At central level, who can make the law? Central level, Parliament of India. At state level, who can make the law? Assembly of the states. If assembly speaks something, if parliament speaks something, they will not speak orally. They speak in writing. Government of India. Letterhead will be Government of India. Then matter will be there and signature of the minister will be there. So recently there was a war between India and Pakistan. So when the government is announcing something, we're starting the war, we're closing the war, we're talking to that minister, we're killing these terrorists. It will be on the paper. It will be on the paper. From the PM office, some other office. In the same way, the Parliament of India speaks something, no beta, it will be on the paper, it will be on the Government of India, Ministry of the Finance, Ministry of the Railways, Ministry of the Finance, some other ministry, Women Welfare, some information will be there, signature of the minister will be there. Yes sir, no sir, clear beta. Whenever the Parliament of India, whenever the assembly want to express something, it will be in written form. और written form को बोलते हैं legislature. Legislature means law, कानून, चट्टम. Yes sir, no sir. But this topic is about iOS. Most easiest topic if you can able to understand, and most difficult topic if you don't understand. Understand now itself. If you don't understand now, even your friend is explaining 100 times, you can't understand. Even you read the material 100 times, you can't understand. Ara, yara. So statute means written will of the legislation. Legislation means parliament. Legislation means assembly. Central laws are there. Central laws are made in the parliament. Laws are made in the parliament. How to manage the company? Parliament is speaking to all the entrepreneurs. This is how you have to manage the company. Companies Act. Yes sir, no sir. How to deal in securities? SEBI. SECRA. Security Contracts Regulation Act. Yes sir, no sir. Who's telling all these things? SEBI, SECRA, Companies Act, Contract Act, Sales Act, Partnership Act, IBC, Insolvency, Bankruptcy Code. Who gave all these things? Parliament of India. If Parliament of India is passing any law, उसको बोलते हैं statute. More professional word. Which one? So what is statute? Statute means, बोलो बच्चों, written will of the legislation. How to regulate the companies? They want to express its will. Who? Parliament. Companies Act आया. How to deal in checks, bills, promissory notes? Parliament of India is explaining in नए act के. How to manage the partnerships? Who is explaining? Parliament of India. Partnership Act के. How to manage the LLPs? Parliament of India explaining. LLP Act. So it has been defined as a written will of the legislature. Statute is a law. Statute is a law established by the act of legislative power, that is an act of the legislature, that is once Parliament of India, once assembly of the any state passing any state law, any central law, उसको बोलते हैं statute. So exam में है बेटा, define the meaning of the word statute. Generally we use the word act or law. उसको professional wording is statute. Generally it refers, generally statute means laws, regulations of every sort, every provision which permitting something, prohibiting something. Law दो ही काम करता है बेटा. Do this, don't do this. Do this, don't do this. Motor Transportation Act. While driving, wear helmet. Do this. Don't drive without helmet. Don't do that. Law में दो ही thing रहते बेटा. That can be any law. Do act like this, don't act like this. Yes sir, no sir. So law may act allows you to do something. Law may prohibits you to do something. And the Constitution of India does not use the word statute, but we will use the word law. Generally we will use the word law, act, like that. But the statute includes not only, but difference between law and act. Law and act already I have explained, I think, in FEMA and some other. So in CA Inter we are having the Company Law or Companies Act. Company Law. Company Law. Company is a broader term beta which contains Companies Act, rules, circulars, notifications, case laws. We have income tax no one subject. वो income tax law or income tax act. What we are having in CA entry is the income tax. No, law. Income tax law. There is not income tax act. It contains income tax act, one part, and rules. It will be in the first page, first chapter itself. Income tax, rules, notifications, circulars, and case laws. Yes sir, no sir. Clear na beta. Done na. Law is broader term. Law is contains the act also. Act, rules, regulations, bylaws, circulars, case laws, पूरा सबको मिलके बोलते हैं law. Done बच्चों. Yeah. So statute also includes ordinance. क्या है बेटा? Before passing the Parliament of India, इसको बोलते हैं ordinance. After passing, इसको बोलते हैं law. when we are preparing the any act, इसको बोलते हैं ड्राफ्ट, रफ कॉपी. which copy? आफ्टर डिस्कशन इन द पार्लियामेंट, ड्यूरिंग द डिस्कशंस, उसको बोलते हैं ऑर्डिनेंस, इसको बोलते हैं आफ्टर पासिंग, इसको बोलते हैं एक्ट. फॉर एग्जांपल while getting the idea to form the company आपको बोलते हैं प्रमोटर, while forming the company आपको बोलते हैं सब्सक्राइबर, आफ्टर फॉर्मेशन ऑफ द कंपनी आपको बोलते हैं मेंबर, आफ्टर इश्यू ऑफ द शेयर आपको बोलते हैं शेयर होल्डर. बट सेम आदमी when you getting the idea to start the business क्या बोलते हैं आपको प्रमोटर, during the process of incorporation आपको बोलते हैं सब्सक्राइबर, आफ्टर फॉर्मेशन आपको बोलते हैं मेंबर, आफ्टर इश्यू ऑफ द शेयर सर्टिफिकेट आपको बोलते हैं शेयर होल्डर. We require 2 months from incorporation to issue share certificate, if you remember. In the same way, in the preliminary stage उसको बोलते हैं draft while preparing the act, and in the parliament we are discussing उसको बोलते हैं ordinance, after passing इसको बोलते हैं act. So law also includes is saying law, company law, company statute means law, statute means not the act, statute means law. The law is broader term. Law includes act, rules, regulations, notifications, circulars, case laws, bylaws. Then in company law, if you're reading share capital administration, we have rules also beta. Deposits rules, debenture rules, share capital rules. Rule plus act is equal to law. So it includes ordinance, order, bylaw. Bylaws are like rules and regulations. It's like AOA. So it includes the ordinance, order, bylaws, rules, regulations, notifications, circulars, customs, including the in CA foundation we have discussed source of the law, contract act, Indian laws, English laws, past judicial decisions, case laws, and local customs and traditions. Recently, I was reading one case law. One husband applied to court for divorce because his wife is not wearing the bangles. Court orders divorce because it's a custom. It's a custom of the family. It's a tradition of the family. If you don't want to follow tradition, don't be part of that family. Yes sir, no sir. Custom is also a part of the law. Act, rules, regulations, bylaws, circulars, notifications, case laws, customs and usages. पूरा मिलकर बोलते हैं company law. Then so law includes, बोलो बच्चों, it includes ordinance, order, bylaw, rule, regulation, notification, circulars, customs and usages also. Then so statute means written will of the legislature. Parliament want to regulate something, they will prepare a document, उसको बोलते हैं statute, उसको बोलते हैं statute. And general statute में allow something or prohibiting something, it includes ordinance, order, bylaw, rules, regulation, notification, circulars also. Thus statute are generally means laws and regulations, means laws and of every sort without considering the source. Every Hindu has to keep the tilak, sticker gaadu, tilakam, maybe male or female, you are supposed to have the bottu here. Who said? You don't know. Somebody said. The origin is not important. Origin is not important. Yes sir, no sir. Clear na? So from where it is coming is not important. Whether it is a law or not, you have to obey. You have to. Then so being a Hindu, how you have to behave. Being a Muslim, how you have to behave. Being a Jain, how you have to behave. Given by customs. Given by customs, traditions, values, beliefs. It is also part of the law. Part of the उसको बोलते हैं statute. बोलो बच्चों, last time बेटा. So statute means written will of the. So it is the act of the parliament or assembly of the state. Generally, parliament will, the act will permit something or prohibit something. But generally, we don't use the word statute, but we will use the word law. So law includes ordinance, bylaws, rules, regulations, notifications, circulars, etc. So while deciding whether it is a law or not, we did not consider the source. Whether it is an established law or not, it's established law, you have to obey. Then beta law includes act, rules, regulations, bylaws, customs, traditions, इंडियन केस लॉस, फॉरेन केस लॉस, इसको सबको मिलकर बोलते हैं लॉ. स्टैच्यू मीन्स लॉ. स्टैच्यू मीन्स law is greater than act. Then this one is very important beta. Law includes act, rules, circulars, notifications, case laws, and customs and traditions. Then देखो बेटा, give the heading interpretation of statutes. Interpretation of statutes, deeds and documents कहते हैं. So we know what is the meaning of the statute. What is the meaning of the statute? Means law. Law includes acts, rules, regulations, bylaws, circulars, notifications, customs, traditions, values, case laws. लिखो. Get the heading meaning of statute. ये एग्जाम में आया ऑलरेडी 3 बार, 2002, 2007, 2016. Statute means written will of legislature. Written will of legislature. ब्रैकेट में लिखो. legislature means a body authorized to make the law. ब्रैकेट में लिखो. legislature means a body authorized to make the law or a body authorized to amend the law. That is at central level POI, which means Parliament of India. Central level Parliament of India. Central last made in the Parliament beta. That is Parliament of India. Central level Parliament, comma, at state level Assembly. But what is the meaning of MLA? Member of Legislative Assembly. Assembly means combination of the people. Assembly. Legislative means process of making the law. Process of, in every state MLAs will be there, but MLAs sometimes in the interviews and reels we will see MLA is not taking care of the roads, MLA not taking care of the drainage system, MLA is not taking care of the municipal water. वो MLA बेटा, वो कौन है? वो MLA की ड्यूटी है क्या? MLA supposed to make the law for the state. Is not supposed to see whether road is proper or not, whether water is coming proper. उसका अलग ड्यूटी रहता. Some other office will be there who is responsible for all these things. Municipal offices will be there. वो MLA का क्या है बेटा? MLA means member of Legislative Assembly. Legislative means supposed to make the law. His primary duty is to make the law, but not to see whether rains are coming, rains are not coming. Rains are not coming. MLA सर क्या कर रहे हैं? वो MLA क्या करते हैं बेटा उसके लिए? There is no proper road system. MLA क्या करते हैं बेटा उसके लिए? MLA is supposed to make the law. You are sending your representative to assembly to make the law for the state, to make the law for the. समझना. MLA is not responsible for that. He has some hierarchy will be there. Some lower cadre officers will be there below the MLA. They may be responsible for all that things. MLA sir is not responsible for that. Yes sir, no sir. समझ में आ रहा बेटा? L means legislature, supposed to make the law for the state. So what you have written beta? So statute means written will of the legislature. Legislature means parliament or the assembly to make the law or to change the law. Next, law includes law or statute includes ordinance, order, bylaw, rules, regulations, notifications, regulations, notifications, circulars, customs. Case laws, etc. without considering its source. Generally, law will permit something or prohibit something. Generally, law will allow something and prohibit something. So if you read the same thing in the exam, आपको 2 mark आने का chance है बेटा. Underline chance. So you know the meaning of the statute. Meaning of the और टॉपिक का नाम क्या है बेटा? इंटरप्रिटेशन ऑफ स्टैट्यूट्स. क्या है बेटा? If you see my classes name, SG classes, tagline, Temple of Interpretation of Statutes. If you see my logo, interpretation means understanding the logic. ये देखो बेटा, इधर है ना बेटा, Temple of Interpretation of Statutes. Statute means law. Statute means act नहीं है बेटा. Act is part of the law. Interpretation means understanding the logic. Understanding the logic behind something. Behind the. At a one time, you can't understand anything. You can't understand the person also better. You can't judge a person just by talking to for 1 hour. It's a process. It's a. For example, one fine day, mummy was scolding the Sonia. Before deciding mummy, you have to understand the logic behind their words. Why she was angry on you. Just because she's angry, you should have shouted her again. Understand the logic. Why she's shouting. Why he's angry. In the same way, one statement is there in the law. Read the section, read the provision, understand why this provision is made by the drafter. घुस जाना, किधर घुस जाना? ड्राफ्टर का दिमाग में घुस जाना. While writing this statement, what was his intention? What he wanted to allow, what he wanted to prohibit. But drafted by whom? But human being का भगवाना law. Human being. He has wife, he has children, he has traffic, he has headache, he has stomachache, he has every ache. He may not use the appropriate word. He may not use the appropriate word, but understand what was his intention while drafting the section. Enter into the mind of the drafter. देखना what was the intention of the drafter. What was the उसको बोलते हैं interpretation. Interpretation means understanding the logic. क्या बेटा? Understanding the logic. As per Indian Contract Act, we should not enter into contract with the alien enemy. But why? Why it's void ab initio? ये क्या है बेटा? ये क्या है बेटा? China. For example, here war is going on between the great soldiers of India, great soldiers of China. They are fighting with each other. And I'm here, Kanyakumari. And my student is here. We are not disturbing any fight. I'm teaching the yoga classes. How to take the breath, how to release. Breathe in, breathe out, from here to here. Zoom class. Which class? Why it is void ab initio? It is void. Who said? Indian Contract Act, Section 11 of the Indian Contract Act. He should be major, he should be soundman, should not be disqualified by law. One of that person is the alien enemy. Why it is disqualified? Oh, uska logic samajhna. Any country during the war, in order to protect the country, they utilize the majority of their revenue for the war itself. Yes sir, no sir. So if I am teaching to this guy, he will pay me some amount, I will pay income tax here. War will not end for the 1 week, 2 weeks. Most of the cases, it will go for the years. For example, Ukraine war, Ukraine ade, Ukraine and Russia. They keep on fighting for last 4 5 years. Was started during the COVID, after COVID, around. So he's paying me some amount, I will pay income tax to government of India. So government of India will use that money to keep the bomb against China, which will be very successful most of the cases. China bombs means tush hota kabhi kabhi. But Indian bomb है ना बेटा, dam hota क्या होता? Dam. That means China is indirectly financing me. Come on, bomb डालो, bomb डालो, bomb डालो बोल के. So there is a logic behind the rule. You know that we should not enter into agreement with the enemy, but why? That means we should not finance the enemy country directly, indirectly to keep the bomb on us. Yes sir, no sir. We should not enter into agreement with the minor. Chintu, क्या कौन है बेटे? Chintu. Why we shouldn't enter into agreement with the minor? Why it is void of an issue? Because he's psychologically immature. Psychologically, he don't know what is good, what is bad. He can't take a right decision, proper judgment, rational judgment. That's why he's disqualified. Logic is there, section is there. उसका logic क्या है वो समझना. उसको बोलते हैं interpretation. उसको बोलते हैं he's psychologically immature to understand what is happening. We may misguide him. That's why he's disqualified. Sonia, define public limited company. Get up. Public limited company. Oh yeah. You're going to become chartered accountant, not accountant. Just one. Public limited company. 8 आना, 4 आना, 12 आना भी नहीं रहता बेटा. Public limited company means a company which is not a private limited company. Sir, I said the same thing. Clause 2. Which has the minimum paid up share capital as may be prescribed, as may be. Clause C. A private limited company which is subsidiary of public limited company is deemed to be public limited company itself. But why? वो तो प्राइवेट कंपनी है बेटा. SG प्राइवेट लिमिटेड कंपनी है. SG प्राइवेट लिमिटेड company. Why you are treating this private company as a public company? A private company subsidiary of a public company is deemed to be public limited company. There is a company called Reliance Industries Limited. In Reliance, who is investing beta? Public is investing. Public is investing in the Reliance Public Limited Company. In SG Private Limited Company, 100 shares are there. Out of 190 shares are held by the Reliance. Held by the Reliance. Indirectly, in this company, public money is there, private money is there. In this SG Private Limited Company, public money is there. That means Reliance is giving the money to public is giving the money to Reliance. Reliance is giving the money to SG Private Limited Company. It is looking like a private company. वो तो public money is involved. इसको बोलते हैं interpretation. इसको बोलते हैं why we are treating private company as a public company. The logic behind the drafter is if the public money is involved, we have to regulate by the 470 sections. In company, how many sections are there in company sector? 470. Whether 470 is applicable to private company? No. This 470 is applicable only for the public company. Private company, it's my money. I can manage properly, improperly. Improperly only. It's my money, it's my hard money. I am managing. More rules are required, less rules are required. Less rules. 470 sections are like 470 cameras. Who is keeping these cameras? Government of India. To regulate the public money. To regulate the whose money? But it is looking like a private company. और किसका money है इधर? Public money is involved. Public gave it to Reliance. Reliance gave it to SG Private Limited Company. That's why even it is a private company treating it as a public limited company. वो समझना उसको बोलते हैं interpretation. आ रहा बेटा? क्या आ रहा? आ रहा interpretation. Statute means law. Statute means law includes act, rules, regulations, circulars, notifications, case laws, customs, usages. Beta. Interpretation. Interpretation is the process. Is the of ascertaining the true meaning of the words behind the statute. One word is used in the statute. Why he used? When he is using one word, there will be some intention behind that. वो समझना. That's why Ram Jetmalani is charging 1 CR per day. Maybe not per day, half day. For few people, whole life is not sufficient to make 1 crore rupees. Whole life. But Ram Jetmalani charging per half day. He understands the meaning of the words. Ara beta. Ara bachcho. Interpretation is the process of ascertaining the true meaning of the words used in the act. One word is used. उसका असली meaning क्या है? Explained by interpretation. Explained by. Sometimes we have to understand and as or. Sometimes we have to understand or as the and. For example, beta, what is the meaning of interest? INTE or EST? I am interested in that movie. आसक्ति. क्या बोलते हिंदी में? इंटरेस्ट को? I like that. हिंदी पे नहीं आते बेटा. छी. पसंद. I'm interested. Rate of interest 12%. Rate of interest? Spelling same अलग आ? Same spelling. PLANT plant. इसका मतलब क्या है बेटा? PLANT plant. If the act related to environmental laws, it means a small tree. There is a tree. A plant है बेटा. ये क्या है बेटा? Plant. Rose plant. Which plant? The same plant related to some industries. It will become the factory. Plant means machinery नहीं बेटा. Plant means a factory है बेटा. Plastic के नीचे अंदर रहता machinery. Plant machinery means बांग्ला. बांग्ला के अंदर mission. You know people, by mistake if you clear one more stage, you are going to become chartered accountant. Don't know the meaning of plant. Don't know the meaning of anything. Eh? Pangartali Shivani. So, what is the meaning of the interest? What is the meaning of the plant? Here, explained through interpretation. Through. बेटा अच्छा सुनना बेटा, आपका दिमाग है तो यूज इट प्रॉपरली टुडे. बिकॉज बाद में समझ में नहीं आता. Those who are having a dimag, please use it 100% usage. Interpretation is the process of understanding the true meaning of the words behind the statue. So Abraham said to Jashwan, I like you mama. Sweetie said, Jashwan, I like you. वो अलग मीनिंग रहता है बेटा. maybe facial expressions. When she's explaining one statement, don't go by just plain reading of the English. Understand the feelings behind that word. उसको बोलते हैं interpretation. It may be I love you indirectly. Maybe उसको बोलते हैं interpretation. बच्चों, interpretation means understanding the true meaning of the word. One word I used. इसका मतलब ये नहीं है वो है. उसको बोलते हैं interpretation. Understanding the legislation is a process. क्या है बेटा? Sometimes if you read the law, But what we teach from the material only. You have a material already. You can read it, no? But why you're coming here? Why you're paying this much of money? Because we interpret. Amma, प्रज्ञा इसका मतलब ये नहीं है ये है. Then she will say, oh ho. उसको बोलते हैं interpretation. Otherwise, what to come here? Why to come here? You have a material. You know English already. You can read it at your home also, na? If you come here, faculty will explain the logic behind that. Why this section is this? Why we are making the entry like this? Sir, no, sir. It's a process, not a one-time affair. Sometimes even you're not even to come into class, समझ में नहीं आता. You keep on reading the same statement for 5 times, 6 times, 10 times, 11 times. And one fine day you woke up in the early morning 6 o'clock, and generally you will not open up. One fine day by mistake, है ना? And you're trying to open the book, then you understand. इसका मतलब ओ हाँ क्या? Meaning meaning अदा उसको बोलते हैं. But why you're not understanding the one-time reading? Because it's a complex statement. Which statement? It's a process. We can't interpret day one. We may interpret if you're superior talented, but generally it is a process. So the process commences with before reading the law. If you go to the two types of doctors are there: English doctor and Ayurveda doctor. English doctor को बोलते हेलो बट बोलते हैं. होम्योपैथी व्हाइट वाले रे डब्बा रहता व्हाइट मेडिसिन वो होम्योपैथी. Allopathy and allopathy means English doctor, I think. And English doctors who give the medicines, natural medicines. Allopathy, na beta. So we went to a particular doctor because of the headache. Then he will give Saradon. Come on, use it for 3 days. Then you will not get the headache. You will get relief. They will treat the pain. But if you go to Ayurveda, if you go to this naturopathy, do you know naturopathy? Yoga, meditation, they will treat. They'll understand why you're getting the headache. You're getting headache, fine, okay. If you take the Saradon medicine for 1 day or 2 days, then you will get relief. But it will come again after 1 week. It will come again after 1 month also. They'll understand that why you're getting the headache, why you're getting the fever, why you're getting the cold, why you're getting the allergy. You're allergic to something. If you go to English doctor, he will give the medicine so that it will not clear the cause. It will only clean the upper. Today you will get relief from the allergen. But if you go to naturopathy, if you go to Ayurveda, so they will understand. They will not give the medicine first of all. They'll understand why you are getting this problem, headache, stomach ache, allergy, whatever. Then they will try to solve the root cause. Which cause? उसको बोलते हैं interpretation. उसको बोलते हैं interpretation of the statute starts not from words. But today's class is very, very important. When you are reading the statute, when you are reading the law, for example, beta, this is the provision. Provision means that text. English will be there, beta. Is or was. Minor should not enter into agreement with we should not enter into agreement with minor. That will be void ab initio. इसको बोलते हैं provision. We have to understand the meaning of the every word to understand the section. More than that English text, we have to give the important term the section heading. Heading इसको बोलते हैं marginal note. What is a margin? Extra. Margin means extra. Which is more powerful, this one or this one? This is more powerful. Heading. More than the section heading, give the importance to the chapter heading. Which heading? Chapter heading. Capacity of the parties. More than the this chapter heading, we have to give the importance to short title, Indian Contract Act. More than the short title, we have to give importance to long title, Indian Contract Act. Indian. बेटा अच्छा समझना बेटा. Name of the act is not important. Before passing the act, The real history starts here. Before passing the act in the Parliament of India, the mover of the act, who is proposing the act in the Parliament, he will give the speech. He will explain why we are passing Income Tax Act, why we are passing the GST, why we are passing the Companies Act, why we are passing the, for example, women ko act unnadi idindo oka Nirbhaya Act. He will explain the logic. He will explain the, listen to the speech of the mover. Listen to the speech of the mover. Before that, there will be the arguments. There will be the arguments between the leading party and opposition party relating to the ordinance. So after making the act, after making the, that is draft, we'll keep in the Parliament for discussion. Understand the discussions made in the Parliament relating to this act. Don't go by this thing. General people will read, they will interpret. No, you will get only 1,000 rupees if you want 1 crore rupees. Ram Jetmalani ko follow karna. So we have to understand the arguments, discussions made in the Parliament before it is finalized. Before it is, what they're arguing, what they want to keep in the draft, what they want to remove from the draft, why they want to remove from the draft. Before that, carry the beta. Draft will be there. What will be there beta? Rough copy of the law. First copy. Usme kya hai? What is, how it is amended, why it is amended, who amended. Before that, committee will be there. Drafting committee will be there. Which committee? Drafting. Who are the members of the drafting committee? But once upon a time, Information Technology Act is not there. What we can watch in the computer, what we cannot watch in the computer, what we can do with the computer, what we cannot do with computer. It was there once upon a time. No. Information Technology Act came. Do you know? Once upon a time, there was no law. There was no law. Only ethics was there. Only take care of the environment. Not taking care. Ethics are optional, law is mandatory. Ethics are optional, law is mandatory. So, ethics said, religion said, take care of the environment. Not taking care of the environment, then environmental laws came. Polluting the Ganga, Water Pollution Act came. Polluting the air, Air Pollution Act came. Polluting the sound, Sound Pollution Act came. They're keeping the because he's having a bullet bike. Not taking care of the women. Women laws came. Not using the public money properly. Companies Act came. They're not keeping their promises. Indian Contract Act came. Yes sir, no sir. So before reading the words, give the importance to the heading of the section. More than that, give the importance to chapter heading. More than that, give the importance to short title. More than that, give the importance to long title. Beyond that, understand the speech of the mover before passing the act in the Parliament. He will explain why we are passing this act. Na kidhar milta? YouTube mein milta? Milta nahi milta? Milta. If you see my company sector material, the first page in the company sector, link will be there. Piyush Goyal ka link. Piyush Goyal was introducing this company act in the Parliament in 2013. उसका speech का link रहता है मेरा YouTube में, मेरा material में. ना. Then what was the discussions in the Parliament? बेटा ये पूरा आता tomorrow, day after tomorrow, also today I'm explaining the whole act in brief, है ना? So ये समझना बेटा. Before that, what was the rough copy of the act, how it was made, how it was amended, how it was passed. Before that, who are the members of the committee? This committee is formed. For example, beta for time pass लिखते बेटा क्या act? Before passing the act, there was a problem in the society. There was a problem in the society. The problem may be we don't know how to drive the vehicle. Motor Transportation Act came. Every act is a solution to problem. We are misusing the computer. Information Technology Act came. Not respecting the women. Nirbhaya Act came. Not respecting the old age parents. That's why if you don't take care of your parents at the old age, you can't get the property from them. We're not keeping the promises properly. Contract Act came. Understand the problem. Before reading the act, understand this act is the solution to which problem? This act is the medicine to which problem? This act is the ointment to problem. प्रॉब्लम समझना, उसके बाद कमिटी को समझना, उसके बाद ड्राफ्ट को पढ़ना, उसके बाद आर्ग्यूमेंट क्या हुआ पार्लियामेंट में बिफोर पासिंग वो सुनना, उसके बाद स्पीच ऑफ द मूवर सुनना, उसके बाद लॉन्ग टाइटल को पढ़ना, उसके बाद शॉर्ट टाइटल को पढ़ना, उसके बाद प्रियम्बल को पढ़ना, उसके बाद टाइटल हेडिंग पढ़ना, उसके बाद सेक्शन हेडिंग पढ़ना, उसके बाद assign the meaning to every word and combine all the words. इसको बोलते हैं interpretation. For this word plant, whether it is the meaning of the small tree, whether it is the meaning of the shed, factory shed, assign the meaning to every word, then combine all the meanings, then you get the meaning for the statement. इसको बोलते हैं interpretation. You make crores of rupees per transaction, lakhs of rupees per transaction. After getting qualification, you have the interpretation skills. Which skills? One fine day I was scolding all the students in the class. This is not the way of doing the CA. You have to focus more. You shouldn't. This is not the ऐसे करे तो कैसा होता? Keep on scolding. In my class, so many students are the two students, especially and Sonia and Paranika. Paranika is thinking inside. इसको क्या हो रहा भाई? इसमें पापा का पैसा, किसका पैसा? और पापा का पैसा. I don't listen. What happened to him? Why he is scolding? Why he is doing like this? Paranika, interpretation, the way of receiving the message. Sonia is thinking, Papam sir, thinking about us only. Interpretation means way of understanding. Way of? Yes sir, no sir. समझ में बेटा what I explain emotionally. Try to understand my emotion. If you understand my emotion, उसको बोलते हैं interpretation. Emotion. Yeah, बच्चों सुनो. The process commences with interpretation commences with अच्छा सुनना बेटा, बाद में समझ में आया था. अम्मा पल्लवी. Interpretation commences with understanding, ascertaining and understanding the background of the statue. Before FEMA, why FERA was there? Why FERA is removed? Before FERA, what was the problem in the society? Foreigners came trying to occupy the India. That's a FERA came. Then we felt, no, we should not do like this. No one is coming, we're not going there. We have to allow them. FEMA came. Yes sir, no sir. Understand the history. Understand the. For example, I took one decision, beta. Example. Just one. They decided not to marry. An example. So everyone will tell Jaswant is not getting married. Array, behind that one law, just like that he will not tell, no beta. He has seen so many family issues in his family, in his friend circle. Behind that decision, one logic is there. Then judge him. उसको बोलते हैं interpret. Jaswant is not getting married. Why he is not getting married? Why he don't want to get married? So many sweetest are proposing him. लॉजिक को पकड़ना. किसको पकड़ना? इसको बोलते हैं इंटरप्रिटेशन. जसवंत आ रहा है बेटा? क्या आ रहा है? बैकग्राउंड. Which ground? In every movie, so hero will be very rude or very different behaviors will be there. One fine day hero will sit nearby the river when no one is there. He will explain to heroine, I am like this because 20 years back this was happened. That's why I am here like this today. Logic ko pakadna. So ascertain the background of the actor, understand the circumstances in which enactment become necessary. Why this कानून बनाया? What is the problem in the society? This act is a solution, medicine, ointment to which problem? वो समझना बेटा. उसके बाद पढ़ना. मैं पढ़ लेता, मैं लिख लेता. क्या लेता? कुछ भी नहीं लेता. कुछ भी नहीं आता भी. Finally, reading the law verbatim and as it is. उसके बाद every word को meaning देना. फर्स्ट हिस्ट्री को पढ़ना, प्रॉब्लम इन द सोसाइटी, उसके बाद कमिटी, उसके बाद ड्राफ्ट, उसके बाद अमेंडमेंट, उसके बाद डिस्कशंस, उसके बाद अमेंडमेंट, उसके बाद स्पीच ऑफ द मूवर, उसके बाद फर्स्ट पेज ओपन करना इन द एक्ट, उसको बोलते हैं इंटरप्रिटेशन. दैट्स व्हाई राम जेठमलानी वाज चार्जिंग 1 crore, that means 1 plus 7 zeros per half day. There are however times when said process leaves the doubts in respect of the meaning of the certain words, certain expressions, certain provisions. While you are doing all these things, आपको कभी कभी डाउट आता, इसका मतलब क्या है, why he is using the word plant, why he chair is there. The chair has to prepare the minutes, the chair has to sign the minutes of the meeting. Chair means chairman. Chair means when he used the word chair, what was the intention of the drafter? वो समझना बेटा. Doubts in respect of the meanings of the words. These doubts can be resolved by taking the assistance of the rules of construction, rules of interpretation, and other aids. Aid means help. Aid means, so this topic, a act nahi hai beta, wo topic hai beta. How to understand the law. It is not an act. This topic explains how to read the act, how to read the law. If you good at this topic, no beta, you need not any faculty for lifetime to read any act. Or why is interpretation? Why is interpretation? So you know the meaning of interpretation. You know the meaning of the statute. Look, keep the heading. Interpretation. How nicely is explaining. Dekho beta. Keep the heading. Meaning of interpretation. It is the process of ascertaining the true meaning. इसका मतलब क्या है? True meaning of the words used in the statute. It understanding the legislature is next point. Understanding legislation is a process which is as follows. That means, सुनो बच्चों, एक बार मुझे देखो. Before assigning meaning to word, go to the history. Why this act was made? Then assign the meaning to the word. Because of which situation this act was drafted? Under what circumstances this act was drafted? Who drafted? It is a solution to which problem? Remedy to which problem? समझने के बाद assign the meaning to words. Before judging Jashwant, see his history, see his background, what was happening in his family life earlier, then judge him. No one want to take their birth as a criminal, terrorist, or some other way. He become terrorist, he become criminal, he become thief. Behind that some history will be there, beta. वो समझना before judging a person. No one want to become a beggar. No one want to become a fool. So why they are acting like this? Because behind that today's action, one history is there. वो समझना. इसके बाद judge him. Then लिखो बेटा. It's as follows. Step 1. Understand the background of the statue. Understand the necessary for creation of the statue. Step 2. Understand the necessity for creation of the statue. Step 3. Then assign the meaning to words used in the act. Assign the meaning to words used in the act. तो पूरा वर्ड्स को क्या करना बेटा, पूरा मीनिंग्स को मर्ज करना. आपको स्टेटमेंट का मीनिंग आता. समझ में आया? Next. Whenever there is no clarity in the whenever there is no clarity in the statute, iOS interpretation of statutes and rules of interpretation and aids. Aid means helps. What is aid? We will discuss. iOS rules, iOS aids helping to resolve the issue. iOS rules, aids helps to resolve the issue. बच्चों क्योंकि बेटा पूरा ज़्यादा बड़ा कॉन्सेप्ट इज देयर. सुनो बेटा. Next, why is interpretation? Why is interpretation? Class still only 12:30 only. Why is interpretation? Why is interpretation? सुनो बच्चों, the use of the interpretation principles improves the understanding. You can able to understand better if you interpret. If you so one movie is there, one hero is there. The hero is a rowdy in that movie. Everyone hates him, but only heroine loves him because heroine understands the history behind him. It helps you to improve the understanding of the statute, and it is therefore necessary to interpret the statute to find out the real meaning of the statute. आपको समझ में आता हो काई को बनाया? If you interpret, where interpretation cannot be applied and can be applied, cannot be applied. Where it can be applied, where it cannot be applied. The principles of interpretation have generic application. Which application? In this act, in this topic, some rules are there. These rules helps you to how to understand. How to? Rules specified in this topic helps you to understand which act, any act. Which act? That can be Contract Act, Companies Act, SEBI Act, SECRA Act, FEMA Act. Generic application. The rules specified here to understand the act have the generic application and may be used with equal ease, equally applicable to interpreting the any piece of the legislature, any law. You can interpret with the help of these rules specified in this topic. What are they? We'll discuss. When language of the statute is clear, statute is. Sonia, please come and stand here. Clear a statement. When interpretation is required here, not required. Someone has here. Someone is disturbing the class. I said someone has to come and they have to stand on the dais. Then just one is thinking whether sir is asking me because I was not looking at him. Abhiram, whether sir is asking me because I'm sleeping in the class. Here we need interpretation. And I think sir is asking me only because I was absent yesterday. When wording is clear, no need of interpretation. No need of. When the language of the statute is clear, there is no need of the rules of interpretation. But in certain cases, more than one meaning may be derived from the same word, same sentence. Then we need of the interpretation. Sonia, please come and stand here. Clear. There's no need of interpretation. Someone has to come. I know. I think you know to whom I'm asking. Please come and stand here. He's asking me only. Because I'm not looking at the sir, I'm looking at the sweetie. Abrangad, I know sir is asking me only because I'm sleeping for yesterday, day before yesterday, today also I'm sleeping. Here we need the interpretation. When the language of the statute is clear, whether we need interpretation? No. If it's not clear, contract means agreement enforceable by law. That's it. No need of any interpretation. Yes sir, no sir. When the language is complex, the drafter was not using the appropriate word. Why he is unable to use appropriate word? He is a human being, beta. Wo insan hai. It's not clear. There is no clarity in the statute. Then you have to use your brain. That means you have to enter the dimag of the drafter. What was the intention? What was the when it cannot be used? LIC versus Indian Bank. But a few people will be there. You are going on the main road. By mistake, you are stepping into the mud. You have to clean the with water. That is okay. By mistake, you are keeping your leg in the mud. Few people will be like there in their life like just one. Intentionally they'll keep their leg in the mud. Then try to clean it. Clean होता मिलना आता क्या आता? Don't do like that just one. You're going in the main road by mistake. You're stepping into the mud at some drainage. Clean it. That is acceptable. That is. Don't keep intentionally and don't try to clean it. In the same way, few people will be there in our life. There is no problem at all. They create the problem, then try to solve the problem. In our life also. In a friend circle also, one guy will be there in our friend circle. That guy, there is no problem at all. He create the problem, then he will be tensed. He will try to solve the problem. When you are reading the particular act, when clarity is not there, go for interpretation. Don't create the clumsiness to create the to try to solve the problem. Yes sir, no sir. देखो बेटा. Supreme Court observed that the principles of interpretation can be upheld only if there is a ambiguity in the provision. Ambiguity means lack of clarity. Clarity is the no need of interpretation. But देखो, it is not permissible first to create the artificial ambiguity. Ambiguity you are creating and try to solve it. Few students I'll observe very rarely, not every day. In last 15 years, around 5 to 6 students, they will get the doubt for everything. There is no problem matter in the section. They create the doubt. Which one in the class? Clear, section is clear. Problem is clear. Why not like that? Why like this only? I think like that also may happen. Don't create ambiguity. And don't try to solve it. In the life also, in the class also. In the exam also. लिखो बेटा ये खत्म करेंगे. Next, need for interpretation. Why we need interpretation? The English language is there, no? But for example, देखो plant, small tree, and also the planter machinery. Chair, chairman, and take a chair. Security, watchman. Giving the security for the loan. Security means shares debentures. And glass, क्या बेटा? पीने का glass, वो glass है ना बेटा. And watch, looking, and this watch. Consideration, what is the meaning of consideration in contact something in return? But general meaning, consider my feelings also, no? Understand. Yes sir, no sir. That's what he's telling beta. Case ले में देखो. Lord Denning Seaford Estates Limited observe that English language is not an instrument of mathematical precision. Precision means clarity. 10 into 2% is equal to any calculator in the world. Any calculator in the world. 2 into 10% is equal. 10 into 2% is 20% is equal to 2. But English language is not like that. We are having the different meaning for the same word. Double meanings are there. Which meanings? Double meanings are there. Triple meanings are there. What is the meaning of this word here? Because in English, we are having the limited number of the words. Use them in an unlimited ways. That's why there is a need of the interpretation. English language is not a mathematical precision. Like so many words I gave here. It would be certainly save the judges from the trouble if the acts of the parliament were drafted, divine precision, perfect clarity. If the full clarity is there, full precision is there. Precision means accuracy. There is no need of interpretation for the judges. But unfortunately, the drafters, while drafting, there may be some gaps. There may be some ambiguity. Not intentionally. Oh, human being beta, oh, be drafter be. So at that time, we have to understand the logic. We have to understand in the absence of which, when there is no clarity, in the absence of clarity, when defect appears, judge cannot simply fold his hands and blame the drafter. Acting manager कर जाओ, ऐसा बोल सकते बेटा. So Shivani and Pallavi holding their hair, fighting like anything. So she lost the hair also. वो पकड़ के आया. Can I say sorry Shivani, sorry Pallavi? Hey, contact at me stage में नहीं है. कर जाओ. Can I say? Then I have to use. The judge has to understand. If this situation arises when he was drafting, ऐसा सिचुएशन आए तो how he might have drafted like that I have to give the judgment. इसको बोलते हैं इंटरप्रिटेशन, बोलते हैं when there is no clarity he can't say just like दो घर जाओ मैंने नहीं है बोल के. नेक्स्ट देखो बेटा इधर तक कंप्लीट करेंगे आज. He must set out to work on the constructive task to find out the intention of the parliament. He must do this not only from the language of the statute में नहीं है तो भी, but also from the consideration of the social conditions which gave rise to it, why the act was drafted, what was social condition when the act was drafted, and the mischief and problem which it was passed as a remedy. For which mischief this act as a remedy? Mischief means problem. What was the social condition when it was drafted? Clear na? One act is there, but criminal law is there, beta. It was drafted in the, for example, 18th century. We should not kill someone with rock. We should not kill someone with a knife. Knife. And we should not kill him with a gada. Etc. I am killing Pragna with a gun. I am arguing gun is not then that, no. Because in that century when he was drafting, gun was not there, not in existence. Gun was, if this is there at that time, he might have included that thing also. Then beta, we have to interpret what was the social condition existing at that time. Yes sir, no, all these things will come again. Okay, beta. Then he must supplement. Supplement means add. Judge uncle has to add something, not to act to his judgment. Who can change the act? Only parliament, but not the judge uncle. Judge uncle can add something which is not in the act only in his judgment, but not in the act. Who can change the act only? He must add the written words so as to give the force and life to the intention of the legislature. That means act. Something is missing in the act, so he can add all these things by interpreting. If this situation might have arisen at that time, the drafter might have written like this. Then judge should ask himself the question. Same thing. How if the makers of the act had themselves come across this bad situation, ruck means in the context of it, they would have straightened it. If the same problem arising while drafting the act, how he might have drafted. Next, judge must not alter the material which act woven, but he should iron out the creases. Creases means that foldings. Some foldings are there in the act, some missings are there in the act. He can add those things in his judgment, but not in the act, but not in the. It is clear from the wording of the law Denning, where the words used in the statute are not clear, court may apply rules of interpretation. That's why interpretation is there. Look beta, किधर तक हो गया बेटा हमारा? From here we have tried. देखो, interpretation improves the understanding of the legislature. Interpretation improves the understanding of the legislature. To find out the real meaning of the words used in the statute. To find out the real meaning of the words used in the statute. Rules of interpretation has the general application. So we will discuss some rules tomorrow. Day after tomorrow we will discuss some rules here, how to understand it. So rules of interpretation can be used to interpret. Sorry. What I said earlier? Rules of interpretation has a general application. Generic application. Rules of interpretation has generic application or general application. Generic application and can be used to interpret. Can be used to interpret only Companies Act and Income Tax Act. any act used to interpret any legislation or any act. Next, it is not permissible to create the artificial ambiguity. It is not permissible to create the artificial ambiguity in the statute and not permissible to create the artificial ambiguity in the statute and to resolve it later. Don't create any problem in the life and don't try to solve the problem. I have seen so many people in the life, they create the problems and they try to solve the problems. Next. As per Lord Denning, English language is not an instrument of mathematical precision. Precision means accuracy. Next, whenever defect appears in the statute, judge cannot simply fold his hands. Can I say like that? It's not then the act, go to your home. No. Cannot simply fold his hands and blame the draftman. That is, he has to supplement the words missing in the statute. Where we have to supplement, beta? In the act and the judgment. The judgment, but not in the act. You should supplement the words missing in the statute and to give life to the provision. So you know the meaning in the whole class 1.5 hours we discussed on two things. What is the meaning of interpretation? What is the meaning of the statute? Statute means law. Interpretation means understanding the logic. Understanding the logic behind the act, behind the words, behind the sentence, behind the provision. Then so next topic, interpretation versus construction and grammatical interpretation versus लॉजिकल इंटरप्रिटेशन. ये देखेंगे बेटा, कल देखेंगे. कब देखेंगे? ये देखो, रूल्स ऑफ इंटरप्रिटेशन. रूल ऑफ लिटरल कंस्ट्रक्शन, reasonable construction, harmonious construction, beneficial construction, exceptional construction, adjudum generis, nocitur a socis, expressio unias est alter exclusio alterius contemporaneo exposio. Harry Potter, quid pro quo. देखेंगे बेटा, very easy beta, believe me, history is with you. You feel like you're drinking the water. I से जाता subject on that, but come tomorrow, don't miss the class. तो मेरे प्यारे देशवासियों, ये immediately पढ़ना, नहीं पढ़े तो कुछ भी समझ में नहीं आता बाद में. Don't blame me later. When he was teaching it was nice only. अब कुछ भी समझ में नहीं आ रही है. क्या है contemporary exposure, ये क्या है noster esosis. बार बार पढ़ना, चार बार पढ़ना. कब? अब, आज. So remaining part will see in the next class. Have a great time. Enjoy the day. Prepare well. SG signing off. Take care.